Welcome back to Vintage Family Recipes with me, Belle. We're getting close to the holidays. Thanksgiving is just around the corner and then Christmas. But this recipe I'm going to share with you is also great any morning you want to make it, or like it's going to be this evening for my family, breakfast for dinner. So we are going to make what my grandmother called baked apple pancakes. Here's the problem. She wrote her really old recipes in pencil. When I started making this about 10 years ago, I had to do a lot of digging to figure out what she had. And some people call it a Dutch baby. What she had was a list of ingredients and then it said baked apple pancakes. And that's all I knew. I didn't know how to make this. This is what I think it looked like after reading several different things, and I kind of mishmashed and hoped I was in the right direction. I obviously was, because my family really likes this and they ask me to make it, especially around the holidays. I will put the recipe in the description. I have my flour and my salt, my baking powder, and my sugar mixed together. I'm now going to mix in my milk, and I have 3/4 of a cup of milk. I'm also going to mix in a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm going to just start to mix this together a little bit. It's okay if it's a little bit lumpy because it's like a pancake batter. And then I'm going to mix in 4 eggs. Go, my 4 eggs. It looks like a lot of eggs, and it is. The next thing I have to do is melt the butter in the cast iron pan. So I'm going to turn on my oven and then we'll do the next step. But the butter has to melt first. So give me just a moment. I use the large Lodge pan. And I have my butter in here, and I'm going to just pop it in the oven. And that'll just take a couple minutes to melt. While that's melting, I am going to mix together the topping that goes on it as well. I need a 1/2 cup of sugar. I need 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And I also add 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. If you wanted to play with your spices, you easily could. You could add ginger if you wanted. You could add cardamom. Could add allspice probably. You could just do a variety. I just tend to stick to this, something a little more traditional. My grandmother wrote cinnamon, so I'm assuming she didn't do anything else, but I tend to use nutmeg when I use cinnamon. You check on my butter. Should be getting close to melted. Yep, it's getting there. It'll take just another moment. I'm putting my cinnamon, sugar, and nutmeg mix into a sugar shaker. You can also use it like for powdered sugar. This way I don't end up with a huge dump of it in one spot. I can shake it more evenly all over the top of the batter. My butter is completely melted in the bottom of the cast iron pan. Mix this together one more time and make sure there's no flour that has migrated to the bottom. And there's not. Okay. And then I pour this in on top of the butter. I always think it looks like so much butter, but the recipe really says 4 tablespoons, so that's what I use. Then I put the apples on top. I use whatever kind of apple we have in the house. Sometimes it's a Pink Lady, sometimes it's a Gala, sometimes it's Granny Smith, sometimes it's Honeycrisp, sometimes it's Macintosh, sometimes it's Fuji. Depending on the size of the apple, it's anywhere from 2 to 3 apples. And because these were smaller apples, I did cut up 3. And these are such small apples, I might actually need to use a fourth. And then it's going to go in a 400-degree oven for between 20 and 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven and set the timer, and then we'll check it in about 20 minutes. Oh, I forgot to put the cinnamon and sugar on top. Okay, there's my blooper. When you shake this on the top, make sure you do use all of it and just keep going around in circles until you have it really evenly spread all over the baked apple pancakes. One of these times, I may try putting an extra layer of pancake on top of the apple so that when it's cooked, it's really truly baked all the way in, just because I might experiment with it. So this is our baked apple pancakes. Some people eat it with syrup on, some people do not. So this is without syrup. My husband is watching the baseball game because it is the World Series, and so he did eat his with maple syrup, and he gave it a thumbs up.
So I know this is good because I've had it before, but for completeness' sake, that's
do you
really,
need
that's a really
do you
big
want a
piece.
knife? No? Okay. I guess. What's your favorite part about it?
Good. Apples.
The apples.
Apples. It's fluff. Like the eggs are nice and fluffy. It's just, I don't know. It's good.
It's breakfast for dinner. Join us next time on Vintage Family Recipes with me, Belle.